hello, all you soul-inspired people and lovely, lovely souls out there. Gina here, and this is a brief follow-up to the last video post. That's also, I went ahead and posted it on YouTube as well, so just so you know, when I do some of these, they will end up either on YouTube or Instagram possibly, or at least a notification, just to try to keep things consistent on my end as far as where I'm posting when and what I'm posting. So in that last video, that was regarding star seeds and judgments, and really all of us that are waking up and would go through this process of ascension that is natural and organic, simple yet also very complicated, because we're letting go and surrendering to a higher calling within ourselves, and letting go of aspects of ourselves that we have been operating from, and we're bringing more light to that, and we're becoming a different way of living. So part of that has to come back to this card of offering. So you remember how I made reference to the hands in this card, right? And it reminded me of Dhyani Buddhas, but I was unable to find that exact mudra that is referenced here over the heart and in the chakra of the root sacral, and kind of goes into the solar plexus a little bit. So I sat with it on one of my walks and also driving. That's where I kind of get information to when I paying attention, but I'm also in a more liminal space sometimes. And just asked for guidance. Like, where's the guidance here, Metatron? What am I looking for? What am I trying to convey? What do you want conveyed from higher source with regards to this, right? So, and I said in that video, we are going through a heart opening, an awakening, a humble awakening of the heart. And many things occur as our heart chakra and our frequency to hold love and light comes into our body. Right, our light body gets activated, our Merkaba gets activated. We'll go more into that in a later session because that requires a little bit more. I want to spend a little more time to give you as much solid footing with that topic as I can within a certain period of time. So in any event, back to this, right? So as we're learning to open our heart and live with more compassion, more forgiveness, but also live our dreams, what we're being drawn to, we're also letting go of the fears that come up, the limitations that come up. What relationships do I have that will allow and be in alignment, not just with my heart and soul, but also source, my presence, my I am, the Godhead, whatever term you want to use. How can I surrender to that process and trust it more fully each day? Stepping through my fears, letting the falsehood of those fears fall away. Because the palm on this card, you can't quite see it in the image because there's a lot happening in it, is facing out. The palm and the root is facing out toward the world, receiving information, right? Because those lower three chakras connect us to the earthly plane. It's how we navigate this world. We're sending and receiving information from those energy centers, and they support us in keeping us safe, right? We build up a sense of, like, don't put my hand in the fire, right? Okay, this is what happens in this tribal group, right? Even your family, you start to build a certain way of being within your family, but that doesn't necessarily translate as you get older into your other relationships. So you start to see that develop in the sacral. The energy of our traumas are there, because we can have various traumas. And I really use that term a little more loosely now because it's in ourselves. It's what, right? Because sometimes as children, we stay quiet. It may be shut down by our parents in some way, or an experience in some way, because we had to stay safe, right? Like, for example, and this is not to pick on my father by any means, but he had moments where he was volatile. He had a lot of anger inside him, right? So we knew as kids, like, okay, we got to be quiet, right? So what happens now, we're navigating And we're stuffing down our expression because we want to be safe. And how might that show up in other relationships, right? And that's not necessarily the best way to operate in my own being and in my relationships. I don't want to stuff down what I'm feeling, but I also get to be in this place of, oh, I get to be safe now to express my divine will and communicate through my divine voice, through my I am presence, my human experience. Like, oh, my body's feeling all these things. Okay, what's really here? And it gets faster and faster as you master these frequencies. Okay, master using these energetic frequencies, because that's all it is energy. Your body's feeling it, and you're also letting go of old coding. So new coding come in, so you can walk through this world free, without limit, with liberty, right? Using that violet flame, and it's interesting, it's also connected, it's freedom and liberty, because you are a sovereign being of light. You are a sovereign being of spirit. And you get to now learn how to trust the highest outcome possible without fear. Without fear. You may have it for a moment, but you're going to move through that a lot faster. So that's what this card is also representing. And I went ahead and looked at the reverse aspect, because for those of you that remembered, we were also talking about our creativity and our development with this card. It's laid, the flower of life, sacred geometry is overlaid in this card, which is within you too. It's very, our divine feminine energy is very creative, but how might you channel the experiences of your sensory bodies, and I say bodies on purpose, translate your emotions, right? Because that's just sensory, it's just senses. It's just another way your body is processing information, giving and receiving information. Because, like, for example, when we release, sometimes we release through tears, through emotion, through water. Water is very important through our blood. That's where we also can have ancestral releases through our blood and through the bones. So reverse this, if you remember correctly, this deck, the sacred geometry deck, reversed on this card can also be basically blocked flow of creativity, in short, right? So when we relax and take a break and learn to step through your fears, trust that you can be creative, move that energy through creativity is very important right now. And coming back into your heart when you feel resistance, when you're feeling resistance to the light that's coming in, because also when you feel resistance, sometimes it can also challenge your trust in the divine, the trust in the divine in yourself, and the trust in the divinity of others, and the trust in the divinity of all that's happening as part of the oneness and has a higher purpose that we don't all get to understand all at one time. Because remember, we get to know what we know when we are allowed to know it, and to be okay with the unknown and trust that everything's happening, everything that you've experienced up until this point has happened to bring you exactly where you are right now. And it's beautiful, because you wouldn't be here without the choices you made. And you still have choice in this, free will and choice. But there's a point that comes to many of you, dear ones, and star seeds, and those of you waking up, where there's an act of surrender to the divine that's greater than you. And it's not even that it's greater than you, it's that you have a direct relationship to it. And that becomes the driving energetic force that comes through you, and that drives your life, it drives your choices. And then it's within that surrender, you begin to step fully into your divine purpose and path of light, in whichever way that looks for you, because each of you are a unique aspect of that light. And you'll step through it with love for all that is a part of this, without fear, and with divine relationships. You'll begin to look at all your relationships as divine. All the experience of the shadow is divine. All the experiences with the light is divine, bringing you back into the oneness and reminding you that you are part of the oneness, and a sovereign, as well as a sovereign being of light. You no longer have to be, you're developing also the self-empowerment, okay, in these lower chakras, self-empowerment to be empowered, where you no longer worry about what someone else thinks of you, or what someone else, how they're going to receive a difference of perspective or opinion from you. And conversely, the same, where you're no longer taking any experience personal. It begins to, you shift it. It's almost like you flip the card and you're understanding a deeper meaning of, yes, yes. I can just receive this information, and sometimes I don't have to do anything with it, but it isn't personal, right? It's not personal. And when you get to that place, when you can hold that sacred space of divinity for yourself and others, it allows, like this air, the air element, it allows space to come in, to be heard in a totally different way within yourself, and to make choices and activate the highest way possible that's available to you now, and take those action steps moving forward into your creativity through your fear with love, and it'll dissolve everything with trust in the highest, in your presence, the Godhead. And of course, you can call in for guidance. Remember their tree. Remember the tree. Bring in your friends, your allies. Because some of us, that's how we help each other. Those of us are a little further along. We help bring up those that are not as full, not as developed. And be like, oh yeah, you're going to get there. You're going to get there. Here's a step. Here's the olive branch. Right? So you remember, you're not alone in this process, even though it feels that way. But this is part of your offering too. How are you going to show up in this world? So remember, you're open, the palm's open to receive and give in a way that you haven't before, right? So you get to give, right, that open hand with full trust that it'll be reciprocated back to you through love. You give through love, you receive through love. You give through love, you receive through love. You hold space through love, you observe through love. Okay, so just that follow-up, really brief. I hope that supports you for wherever you're at in your journey right now. Much love to all of you, and I'll be back soon with more. This is Gina with Soul Inspired Reflections. Have a beautiful day. If you'd like additional guidance or questions, feel free to email me. I'm happy to support you in any way that I might be able to with the offerings that I have. Or if you want clarity on something, because then I can offer that to the group, right? If you have questions, I can offer more to the group. So it's we're all here to grow and learn together. All right, have a beautiful day and a wonderful weekend.